Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another video. As always, I do appreciate you guys stopping by my channel. I do ask while you're here if you can hit that notification bell, and definitely make sure you drop down in the comments once done watching the video so we can chit chat. Now, as I've always stated, everything mentioned is my personal opinions, my personal reactions, and is allegedly. So I just wanted to have a quick cup of tea with you guys in this video, and I really wanted to just break down Martell's statement that he released on yesterday. The most important part that I wanted to touch on first was Martell mentioning abuse. Now, he brought that out to the public, not Mel. Not once have I heard Mel mention anything about abuse. But he stated that Mel said that he hit their son Tank over 25 times and that he hit him on the head and made him bleed. He then said Mel didn't contact him to ask what happened. She contacted her attorney, as she should have. And I'm sorry, if my son was bleeding, I would have contacted the police. But anyway, what didn't Martell say in that part? He didn't outright deny it. He didn't say, no, I didn't hit my son. I didn't make my son's head bleed. He didn't say that. So obviously something happened. Tank is old enough to relay to his mom what went on. So obviously something happened, you know. But again, like I mentioned, Mel never brought this abuse public. And I figured, me myself personally, I figured that Martell had to have done something. It was just a thought that ran through my mind, because why would Mel keep those kids away for 56 days? So I did think something had happened, but I thought maybe it happened to her. I thought he attempted to do something to her because he's a raging lunatic. And he's always shown signs of being an abuser to me. Again, to me personally. So, yeah, that's not far fetched at all. I'm hoping that he didn't abuse that child. I'm sure he's going to say it was discipline, tough discipline. Martell allegedly, and in my opinion, is filled with steroids and everything else. So he's so into working out and pumping up and all of that, and he may not realize his strength when it comes to his kids. So any physical discipline from him shouldn't happen. That's just my personal opinion. But anyway, let's get into the subject of the girls. So he said that he missed the girls' birthday parties because of this 56 days. And, well, yeah, there was an open investigation of alleged child abuse, so you can't be near the children. I also think that he threw that in there because Mel's cousin released a statement a couple days ago, or made a post saying how he wasn't at the kid's birthday party. But even though he wasn't at the kid's birthday party, does that stop him from publicly making a post to the girls on Instagram as he had done for all of the previous years? So I don't know if you guys don't remember, but I remembered and I felt that it was odd. And I'll put a little clip in here, probably at this point where you guys are in this video. But I remember thinking that it was odd that he didn't make a post about the girl's birthday. And then a month later, here he comes with a post saying that he is finally able to wish his girls a happy birthday. So those are the actions of a spoiled man who no longer had control, because I don't care if you weren't able to physically see them on the day of their birthday, you still could have acknowledged them like you had done before. So he wanted to bring attention to himself. And a month later, he made the post. That's when he took the girls to Washington, D.C. And he said something to the fact of, finally, I can make this post about my girl's birthday. So, yeah, that ongoing investigation did not prevent him from making a post about his girls on their actual birthdays. But him being in his feelings and having a hissy fit did. So let's move on to him mentioning Mariah crying. He stated that Mariah used to cry to stay with him before the 56 days and that she cried afterwards twice because she missed her mom. Now, is he really too dumb to realize that the kids misses them all together in one house? And is he really writing down how many times they are crying? I mean, who does that? And does he not remember that we all saw from the episode on the show how when they came together at Mel's office for that comeback group meeting, and he took a dig at Mel during that meeting about parenting, and he stormed out and pulled the kids out Mel's other office. And immediately after leaving with those kids, he had to call Mel back because Mariah was crying at the time. He had to turn around and take that girl back up there to her mom so Mel could comfort her. So that was before the 56 days and all of that. Those kids are emotional. And he wasn't equipped to comfort her in that moment. He had to take her back to Mel. He needs to stop using those children as a ploy and as a scapegoat to get at their mother. He caused this division. And until he takes accountability for that, full accountability for that, he will continue to be in this mental downhill turmoil that he's obviously in. Next, he said Mel has had over 24 people since their separation, with only a few being family members, watch the children. And he stated Marcus came back to Huntsville to watch them one time, while Mel flew to another state, and Mel didn't inform him of anything. Now, why does Mel have to inform him? And honestly, why would she? Martell wouldn't do anything but use that against her, make her look like she's unfit, run to social media or run to the judge and say, look, it's her week, but she had to call me. She couldn't watch the kids. So why would she call him if a business opportunity came up to watch the kids during her time? She does not have to call him for anything, for his permission or anything else. And I think it was commendable of Marcus to most likely fly in to watch the kids so Mel would not miss a business engagement. I'm sure she was back the same night. But see, Martell doesn't know anything about business engagements. We've seen him on one panel, a panel about rejection at that. But we've seen him on one panel since they separated. And the host of that panel obviously wanted him. So he doesn't know anything about being in demand like Mel. He doesn't know anything about speaking engagements and being requested to be interviewed, and that doesn't apply to him. So he's sitting back home jealous that Mel is in demand. And what really set him off, in my opinion, was this last interview that Mel did with Dee Dee in the morning on her podcast. Because Dee Dee asked Mel during that interview at the end, do you still love that man? I mean, he is the father of your children. And Mel said no. She made it clear, no. So I'm sure that set Mr. Martell off. And I put up part one of that interview that Mel did with Dee Dee I do have a second part that I plan to drop. I had planned on dropping it yesterday, but all of this jumped off, so here we are. But that's why he's mad, in my opinion. He's mad because Mel is booked and busy. And he's mad that he's looking at her on her week off. He's looking at her travel from state to state. She's been in Las Vegas this week, then went right to New York, then she was in the Hamptons. And he's sitting home pissed because he's not doing that. He doesn't have anything going on when the kids are not with him. I mean, how dare Mel not seize all of these opportunities? How dare Mel schedule all these things or make sure that they lined up with her schedule of when she doesn't have her kids? So Martell is mad that he does not have anything going on at all, and he's mad that he doesn't have control. And my last point is this. He made sure to mention why he wasn't filming those days. And I can bet money that Martell is suing Mel, because he made sure to keep saying suing. He's suing Mel for loss of income. I can guarantee that. He's suing her for loss of income due to the alleged abuse. And that's what all of this is about with him. It's about money. He knows that she's making big bucks outside of just collecting a check from Love and Marriage Huntsville like he is. And he's sitting back watching, just like the rest of us are watching, the boss moves that she's making. And he wants that girl's money. That's it, that's all. And for a man to sue the mother of his kids for money, it's crazy. But it's very, very Martell-like. It's very Martell-like. So I know that they've wrapped this season up, and the only thing left that they would have to film is the reunion. And I'm hoping that Mel is really thinking about going forward with this show. You know, I know that this is her creation, her idea, her baby that came to fruition, but she's outgrown this show, if you ask me, and she's big on protecting her peace. There will be no peace with Martell. And if anybody knows that better than any of us, it's Mel. There will be no peace. We saw her try to make peace by inviting him to the vacation in Florida. Now, had they have stayed on that path, they would have had a successful season shooting without, all the arguing and bickering that they were doing in previous seasons. And just from this incident alone, when Martell released this statement yesterday, all the activity of the other cast members just lit up. There was Marceau releasing stories and making a post. Tisha. See, this is what they want to see. The division of Martell and Mel. But Martell is too dumb to even see that. And I have a question. The season ended off with the preview of what we saw live, that big brawl in the parking lot. And that was Martell and Marceau. How are they cool again? That quick? How? Now, I don't think that the fight was staged, but I do think that Marceau is a master manipulator, and Marceau knows that Martell got some dirt on him, and I'm just going to have to make a whole nother video about that. But that's why Maurice and Marceau refuses, no matter what Martell says or does, that's why they refuse to cut him off. Because they know if that man tell the truth and he got the truth, then they know that they stuff is blown up. So anyway, I'll make another video about that at a later time. But if Mel and Martell has stayed on that path of being able to film with each other without all that drama, that was going to turn the show around for me. But with this antic of Martell releasing this statement and all of that, it's basically downhill. It's going to be another reunion where he's going to be attacking her. Then we already got to revisit her issues with Destiny and Tisha and Kimmy and all of that. So she's outgrown this mess, if you ask me. So I know recently she said that when God tells her to go from the show, that she'll do that. And I'm hoping that she does, because there won't be anything positive coming out of it. As I mentioned, I know this is her baby. I know that one of the reasons why she most likely, in my opinion, wouldn't want to just walk away from filming, because if Martell continues to film, then that would be his opportunity to usher in old coleslaw. That would be his opportunity, because it's been said that Mel said, as long, and Coleslaw said this out of her own mouth, as long as Mel is filming, that girl won't be on that show. So, in that regard, I understand why Mel would want to stay. But at some point, I wouldn't even care. The girl has said everything, Coleslaw I'm speaking of. She said everything that could be said for free. So her going on the show is not going to mean anything else. And I would bow out gracefully. So I'm hoping Mel is looking at other opportunities. I would love to see a show focus on her business and her making these moves that she's making and her interacting and taking these kids places like she does. Vacations here and there. Martell hasn't taken them anywhere. He can't afford it. So anyway, guys, I want you guys to please just drop down in the comments. Let's chit chat about this. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. Also, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll chat with you guys soon.